Due to the nature of the current events with George Floyd and the systemic racism in America, we're going to forego today's episode, and it will be relaunched on Wednesday. We sincerely hope you'll be willing to tune into this special episode where we're going to discuss our emotions, our mental state, and hopefully how you can also help change what's going on.
Please listen to a special edition of Justo's Best Wednesday at 10 a.m. Don't miss it.
Please tune in to the special edition podcast on Wednesday at 10 a.m. We're sorry for the inconvenience of our regular podcast, but we have something very special that all of us want to share this Wednesday. Thank you.
And in lieu of the cancellation of our normal broadcast, we have cut together a highlight reel of the artist spotlights through the first 5 episodes of the Justo's Best podcast. So please enjoy our wonderful artists, the things they have to say, and the music they have to present. And please tune in to a very special edition of the Justo's Best podcast where we will tackle the topic of systemic racism in the United States of America. Very important. You need to hear it. Please tune in this Wednesday at 10 a.m. to the Justo's Best podcast. That's right, folks. It's now time for the Artist Spotlight on Justo's Best podcast.
All right. Welcome back to the show. Once again, my name is Justo, and as always, I'm here with Richie, Tony, and Marvin. We have a special guest in the studio with us from Nashville, Tennessee, Mike Riley. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing great, Justin. How you doing?
Oh, doing fantastic. So you are one of our up-and-coming artists, our first spotlight artist, and you're a country musician, yeah?
Yes, sir. Yeah, what an honor, man. That's awesome. Yeah.
So, Mike, this is DJ Tony Ray. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Hey, blessed to have you on the show. I just want to know, like, when you first started, what do you wish you would have known then that you know now?
Ooh. I think it's definitely all a learning process.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh
it's okay. How long have you been doing it?
Man, I've been doing it for a long time, probably since 2010.
Do you have a favorite song?
My favorite song, man, I think honestly, not to plug what I'm trying to plug right now, but I think my favorite song now is the one that I'm putting out.
Okay.
Just because of the storyline, I think it's fun.
Can you give us a little background of, what the meaning of this song is for you, for our followers?
Yeah, so my wife is from Arkansas, and her family is really into the trucking business. So I started writing the song over Thanksgiving in Arkansas, and just kind of listening to some stories from, her family and the family friends were over, and I was like, this would be a good song. So I started it in Arkansas and came back and finished it up, and I had some really good players on it, and it was just kind of a fun process.
So, I've never heard your music. So, as somebody who's never heard your music, what should I be expecting to? Like, what am I going to hear from you?
I'm also a songwriter, so a lot of the songs that I write, you're never going to hear because we're pitching them and we're trying to, and I've got some other artists cutting them, and they get kind of lost in the network of songwriters and stuff like that. But my music it's all got a storyline. It's all country music. I don't just do one style of country. What I like to say is, if you don't like one of my songs, listen to another song, maybe you'll like it.
But I have 2 questions for you. See, here at the podcast, I do wacky news. So I've got 2 wacky questions for you, just to kind of not take it too far away. But give us your favorite word, remembering that this is a family show.
My favorite word?
Favorite word?
Placostomus. It's
nice.
A fish.
Nice. That's awesome. Another one for you.
Yeah.
If you had a superpower, what would it be?
Oh man, you ever seen that movie? You ever seen that? No, you ever seen that movie with Nicolas Cage? And he can predict the future, like 3 minutes.
Yes.
In the future.
Yeah. Next.
I'd predict it. Yeah, that one. I'd predict it 5 minutes in the future.
Nice.
All right, there we go.
Okay.
Good choice. Good
I
choice.
like it. I like it.
So you're listening to Justo's Best. We've got Mike Riley live in the studio. We're going to kick over to debut one of his brand new tracks by Mike Riley out of Nashville, Tennessee. You are listening to Justo's Best.
This is Mike Riley, and you're listening to my debut single, Big Rig Trucker's Dream. Driving through Georgia in a big steel box, dashboard with an ornament of Jesus on a cross. It's my only saving grace, I'm gonna get to Santa Fe. 80,000 pounds afraid to haul before I get paid. Need some product to strand or one on to hold. Either one would do if they lighten my load. So I took the next left-hand turn into a roadside bar. They were drinking cold liquor, had a mason jars. Saw a blonde-haired beauty just eyeballing me. I said, do you want some company? She said, I know you're just passing through and there ain't no road. Next thing you know, my sorry is on the floor. Can't be so direct with the proper Southern belle. Got some ice for my eye, got some hit the road. I'm going 90 miles an hour down the never-ending road. I'm alone. The days are so long and the nights are so cold. I need a pretty little mama like you ain't ever seen. Right side by side, big rig trucker's dream. Barreling down the highway, I-85, I got a few missing teeth and bloodshot eyes. Keep a real strict schedule, so I wasn't gonna stop till I saw a hitchhiking female didn't look like a cop. I realized I was wrong when she climbed up in the cab and a push-up bra. Saw a police badge, pulled around for a minute till she asked her for some dough. Said, I'm wise to your tricks, honey, pushed her out the door. Can't be incarcerated for the third straight time. Put it back in gear, start heading down the line, hit the road. I'm going 90 miles an hour down the never-ending road. I'm alone. The days are so long and the nights are so cold. I need a pretty little mama like you ain't ever seen. Right side by side, big rig trucker's dream. Feeling pretty weary, can't hardly stay awake, so I pulled up to a diner to grab a bite to eat. Looked up and saw a waitress walking toward me, apron on and white notepad. She asked me, what are you having? I said, a hard time catching my breath, 'cause I never seen a girl so pretty in all of my life. I got on my knees and begged, would you marry me? Baby, will you be my wife? She said, get up, honey, I don't need your wedding ring. Just saw that rumbling engine, red two-seater cab and the smell of gasoline. She said, get up, honey, I don't need your wedding ring. That's how I found my baby. A big rig trucker dream. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
We have Mike Riley with us here in the studio. And so, Mike, you're going to play for us?
Yeah, if you guys want. This is called 6 Feet in the Ground. I'm gonna tell you a backwoods story on a wish weren't true. About a big city lawyer named Billy. He was a crooked and greedy fool. We moved to practice to our county. Very wealthy and lived alone. Had my dog put down my favorite blue tick hounds. Life cut short by fast moving tongue. Next thing you knew, the farmers losing their land to the bank. They never stood a chance as he was on the defense, and he never lost a case. But somebody went and pulled that trigger, shot down that sinister man. This town was any bigger, Billy probably get away with blood on his hands. When everybody knows everybody, there's danger in a small town. He rode 10 feet tall on his high horse. Now he's 6 feet in the ground. Billy was a man of habit. His nights filled with strippers and gin. Like a beat to a high, people into the drive every night at 2 a.m. There was a figure waiting in the shadow. Got Billy out of nowhere. His face frozen and dread filled him up full of lead. In the early morning air, somebody went and pulled that trigger, shot down that sinister man. If this town was any bigger, Billy probably get away with blood on his hands. But when everybody knows everybody, there's danger in a small town. He was 10 feet tall on his high horse. Billy 6 feet in the ground. There were 3 holes found in Billy's body, not a single tear was shed. He was swinging from a rope on an old live oak, his white collar bloodstained red. When the law showed up with the questions, everybody played along. Nobody batted an out by my weak alibi, 'cause everybody wanted him gone. Somebody went and pulled that trigger, shot down that sinister man. This town was any bigger, Billy probably get away with blood on his hands. But when everybody knows everybody, there's danger in a small town. He rode 10 feet tall on his high horse. Billy 6 feet in the ground. Secret planners spread like gasoline on a flame. But everyone's taking this one to the grave.
Yes,
Thank you.
that was good.
Wow, that was
Thank
great.
you, man.
Mike, your songs are like mini movies, man. Like you can really see the imagery line to line.
Thank you, man. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I love the storytelling and just that old school, like, broke down funky country sound, that all country feel. You know, that is when I listen to country music, that's what I look for. So, you know, I love it. It sounds great, man. Awesome, Mike. Thank you for coming on the show. We'll look forward to hearing where things are going, and when that song gets recorded, maybe we can have you back and do a debut here on Justo's.
That sounds great. That sounds great to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, that was Mike Riley. You're listening to the Justo's Best podcast. Hi, welcome back to Justo's Best. This is Justo. We are joined in the studio now with Joshua Scales. He's a Christian hip-hop artist out of Dayton, Ohio, and he's joining us here. Josh, how you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing well. So I have a couple quick questions for you. I want to introduce you to the guys. Of course, you know DJ Tony Ray, Marvin, Richie.
What's up, y'all?
What's up, Josh?
How you doing,
Hey,
man?
man, how's it going?
Good.
So, Josh, how long have you been a performing artist?
Yo, man, I've been doing this for over 15 years, man. So 30 now. Started when I was just getting ready to hit 14. So, like,
Oh, very cool, man. That's a long time. So far in that time, what's been your crowning achievement?
my crowning achievement and all that has been able to meet and connect with people I, very well look up to, didn't think I'd be able to work with them in any way. And I've been able to perform for them and share the stage with them. The number one person being a Christian contemporary artist by the name of Toby Mac. He's like one of the top Christian artists out there. And he kind of helped influence me get into Christian hip hop, and never thought I'd meet him, let alone rap for him or share the stage with him. So, I'm very proud of that and very grateful for that. So,
Toby Mac, that's DC Talk, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
There
sir.
we go.
DC Talk.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah, I remember that. Very cool. Marvin, you got a question for Josh?
Yeah, Josh, great to have you on the show, man.
Hey, appreciate it.
What advice would you have for someone wanting to follow in, your footsteps and how you got into music?
Basically, man, just keep it at the forefront of your mind of why you want to do it. What keeps you passionate about it. Just keep searching for that, even in moments of doubt, man. Like, just know why you want to do it, and how you can inspire others, and just stay on the path. Don't let negativity from anybody, family, anybody, get into your ear and try to tear you down. Just know why you want to do it, and you'll succeed. You'll start seeing fruit of what you're doing.
Excellent, man. Admire the journey, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
Richie?
Yeah, I got a question for you, Josh. What really got you started in music?
Basically, man, just in school, like elementary school, they had a music class, and from learning instruments and everything, I just was immediately intrigued. And from then on, went to choir in school and in church. And it became a great way for me to express myself. I wasn't that great at doing it, like just by talking and stuff. So I latched on to music pretty early on.
Okay. Follow-up question. You said you started playing music at a young age. Did you play the recorder as your first instrument? What was your first instrument?
Oh, man. I think it was the piano I started to learn. I even started taking lessons, but I even dropped out of lessons from piano, but it was the piano.
Piano's hard, man. Super hard.
Yeah.
What got you into hip-hop, though?
Oh, man, I started writing poetry, actually, in second grade, and got something published in a book. And then everybody started to, see my knack for writing around that time. And then when I was in middle school, I started seeing everybody around school starting to rap and form groups and go to the studio and stuff. And I was intrigued by the delivery and the direct approach of rap and hip hop and that whole culture. And I said, this is another way for me to express myself. So I fell in love with that hard around middle school.
Awesome, man. Okay, question for you then. I'm going to keep going. So it's all about expression, clearly. What would you say is like your writing inspirations? Like, what do you do in your songs? If I'm a new listener, never heard you, what can I expect?
Definitely for me to talk about my own life and what I've been through. Had a kind of a rough start in life with birth and everything, but that's what you'll hear in my music, basically talking about where I came from in my life, and just trying to inspire others and try to make you feel good in the midst of all that.
Okay, great. Personal stories. Cool. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hey, Joshua, this is Tony Ray.
So,
kind of take it a different way here. If you had superhero powers, my friend, what would they be and why?
hey, man, I would love to be invisible, to be honest with you. Mostly because it's pretty dope. I don't want to get creepy with it, but I don't know why invisibility just seems dope.
No, I agree. I agree with you. I love invisibility. If I was to pick one, I definitely would have your back on that one. Invisibility would definitely be the way to go. Absolutely.
Yeah, Yeah.
Man, you guys trying to hide around and scare me. I don't like that. You're trying to hide.
That's what I was curious about. What is
Sneak
Tony? Tony, what is
Yes.
the first thing you would do if you're invisible?
Oh my gosh. If I was invisible, I definitely would be a very well not known bank robber.
Well, Josh, I know you're not going to be a bank robber. What would you do with your invisibility? Hopefully something better than Tony Ray.
Hey, you asked.
I did ask. You're right.
Hey,
Yes.
we don't approve bank robberies here.
No.
We just want
You
to
don't
put that
approve
down. Just
criminal
kidding.
activity. Yeah, you do.
Oh man, you know what? I probably would find a way to help people if I could, even being invisible though. But if there's any way I could help people and do stuff that I wouldn't be able to do being visible, I'd try to find a way to do that.
Awesome. Yeah.
Awesome.
Like I said, I don't know what that would be, but
That's kind of hard. I mean, you're on the spot. We can't expect you to know
on the
kind of
spot.
sense like that. Who knows? But
I would be Flash because Tony needs an accomplice.
Hey,
there you go.
hey, I would be invisible. I would be doing the same thing that Joshua would be doing. I would be helping people that don't need all that money and give it to people that do need it.
There you go, Robin Hood. See?
yeah, Robin Hood.
Yeah, Robin Hood.
Awesome. So, Josh, we are going to play one of your new songs here on Justo's Best. The song is called Loco. Could you tell us a little bit about the song?
Yeah, for sure. Basically, like, just wanted to take a new direction with my music, and my friend is another rapper. Actually, he said, "Bro, you need like a really hype sounding track. Like, you don't have many." And I said, "Yeah, you're right." And so he basically kind of found the beat, start kind of coming up with the hook, and then we kind of just collaborated together, and then we came up with this track that wanted to be something real feel good that could really get you going and something different for me. So that's what the product is of Loco.
Very cool. All right, well, let's check it out. You're listening to Loco by Joshua Scales from Dayton, Ohio, here on the Justo's Best podcast.
What's up? This is Joshua Scales. You're about to listen to my new single, Loco, on the Justo's Best podcast.
I got the answer, I got the real thing, I had been set free. God is the boss, we dripping the sauce, I'm done with the old me. Just pray that you ready, cause these are the facts. I'm coming with stats, I'm not looking back, it's time to attack. My king is my dad, I'm not feeling bad, it's time that I grab. My spot is my chance, I'm doing my dance. I just had to spaz, I just got a blast. I'm coming in last, I'm pressing the gas, I'm making me laugh. You mad, that's so sad, it's how I react. I'm taking it back, you still coming for me? Where they at?
All right, welcome back to Justo's Best Loco by Joshua Scales out of Dayton, Ohio. Joshua, that track had everybody dancing, man. Everybody was dancing. I saw you dancing, Tony.
Oh man, I was hitting it right there. That was good. I like that one. I really like that one. What was the inspiration? What was the inspiration behind that song, Josh?
Hey man, like I said, I just needed something hype, and just you know, when I collaborate with people, they start to give me different ideas, and like they say, hey man, just don't even think about it. Just go silly and go crazy, and you know that's what this could be. It could be you going loco, and I'm like, all right, man, let's do it. Let's try it out.
Well, Josh, I want to thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate everything that you're doing. Your music sounds great. I hope that we can have you back.
Yeah, man, for sure, man. I'll be back. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. That was Joshua Scales here on Justo's Best Podcast. Don't go anywhere. We got closing thoughts coming up.
Yo, what's this? Something I came across that I can't forget. Something I better grab because I'm not, I'll miss. Miss the very chance to tell it like it is. There's a lot of people down, so it just makes sense. J Scales, open up, they want to read your book. Take a look. It's something that'll leave them shook. There's a lot of people down, so it just makes sense. Hey, yeah. Yo, what's up? This is Joshua Scales. You can find me on all social media at the Joshua Scales. THE Joshua Scales.
Welcome back to Justo's Best. I'm Justo. In the studio with us out of Dayton, Ohio. We have performing artist Sahi. What's going on, Sahi?
Hey, what's going on, Justo? What's happening?
Oh, not much, man. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on.
Let me introduce you to a couple of my buddies here. We got Richie Phillips, DJ Tony Ray, and Marvin Scott. Guys, this is Sahi.
What's going on,
What's
man?
happening, Sahi?
Hey, not much. In the house. Teamed up.
So, Sahi, you're a singer and a rapper, a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah. Make beats. Yeah, I just love making music, man. I just always have.
Yeah, awesome. How long have you been making music?
Really recording. I was in probably about 6th grade, recording on the old radio, press and play and record at the same time, going over actual tapes, you know what I'm saying, way back in the day.
Yeah.
Saeed, great to have you on the show, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. So who inspired you to make music? You know, I know you being from Dayton, you come from a long line of classic seniors. You got Zapp and Rogers and old school, new school. So who inspired you to, get you started?
When I was young, I listened to a lot of New Edition, Usher. Those are really my main groups that I listen to, but I also listen to pretty much everything. So it was really mainly the R&B artists at the time, Boyz II Men, Mario, Marcus Houston, Omarion, all those guys, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their own style, and I kind of just take from everything. And, you know what I'm saying? I just love music.
Coming from someone who hasn't heard you, what type of things can I hear from you? What am I going to expect when I hear Sahi's music?
Oh man, that's a very good question, because I've never really focused on one kind of sound. So that's why I don't really have different projects. I just kind of just make more singles. So you'll hear one song you'll hear from me it'll sound one way, and then you'll hear something else, and you'll be like, man, that's you. Like you won't. I don't have like a particular one sound.
Like, what do you do when you're writing your songs? Like, what is your thought process behind that?
I just get in there. I just get in the studio. You know what I'm saying? Whatever comes out that day, if something comes out of it, like it's beautiful, and it's like a good feeling for me. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like one of those things. And people hear my music, like, man, I like that song. I like this. I like that. I love like singing and making R&B music, which I'm going to display here on this show. Love is how I express myself to the world. Like, I like to do that, but I also just, you know what I'm saying, just like to try to do different things and, you know what I'm saying? That's just really the main inspiration for me, is just creating whatever I can create.
Hey, I want to play a quick game with you. Okay.
All right,
so
let's play.
You're going to pick an artist. They're basically battling each other. You're going to pick the artist that you favor more, who you think is better.
Right.
All right. So first up is Usher versus Chris Brown. Who you taking?
Love Usher, but I'm gonna have to go now. He got the moves. You know what I'm saying? Chris Brown all day.
Okay. So here, part 2: Chris Brown versus The Weeknd.
Oh, tournament style. Oh, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna go Chris Brown personally.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see a trend here.
Weeknd got great music too.
Okay. All right. So we're still with Chris Brown. So let's do Chris Brown or 90s R. Kelly.
Oh. You gotta go with man. Oh, that's you messing me up there, man.
I know, man. I know.
Do the right thing, son.
Do
the right thing, man.
My heart want to go with R. Kelly, but you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go with Chris Brown on this one.
Okay.
All
right. I think Chris Brown's gonna be the winner, but I got one more.
Yeah.
Chris Brown versus Bruno Mars.
Yeah. Bruno performed at the Super Bowl. Oh man, I'll go Chris Brown.
Okay.
It's hard.
You heard it here on Justo's Best.
All the way to the top.
Chris Brown is the R&B artist for Saheed. Now, real quick question. If you had superhero powers, buddy, what would they be and why?
Superhero powers. Man, so many. I would just like to be able to teleport, you know what I'm saying, and just be wherever I need to be at a certain point in time. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Yeah.
Sahi, we're going to be listening to a track of yours called All Time. Could you tell us a little bit about the song?
Yeah, this is one of those rare songs that together really fast. I played the beat. I was just, I'm chilling how I usually do. I was on YouTube listening to beats, and I played this one by a producer named Unknown Instrumentals. I went ahead and grabbed the beat, and like words just came immediately. I wrote the verse, like recorded it, sat on it for a little bit, like was playing for people. They're like, "Oh, that sounds so good. I like that." And I just went ahead and finished it. And it's one of my favorite songs that I've made.
Yo, I'm Saheed, an artist out of Dayton, Ohio. You're about to listen to my song, All Time, right here on the Justo's Best podcast.
Your love feels like the greatest of all time. It feels like the greatest of all time. Your love feels like the greatest of all time, all time, all time, the greatest of all time. Baby, loving you is so amazing. Girl, you gotta be the greatest I ever had. Ain't gotta tell you, girl, you know you bad. Damn, baby, give it to me, I need all of that. Yeah, ballin', baby, you deserve a ring. You got something about you, baby, I ain't never seen. Baby, you are more than I could dream of. This has gotta be your real love. Your love feels like the greatest of all time. ever be another like you. No, baby girl, you got it. God did a little extra when he made you. Baby, you are more than I could dream of. It's gotta be you. Your love feels like the greatest of all time. All time, all time. The greatest of all time. All time, all time. The greatest of all time. All time, yeah. The greatest of all time.
All right. All Time by Sahi, artist out of Dayton, Ohio. You listen to the Justo's Best podcast. Sahi, man, that is a banger.
Literal word. To me, that's like my new baby making music for sure. Lee, man.
I appreciate it, man.
It's like, I got my new song.
Yeah. So you know about the quiet storm in Dayton. You know all about that, right?
Yeah.
That's where that belongs, man. That is
Right. I appreciate it, man.
That's
Like
for all
10
you couples at night. Yeah.
10 seconds into the song, I was like, yeah, I see why he picked Chris Brown.
Right? Yeah, I was thinking that too. At the same time, like, you gonna know, like, it's pretty. And I appreciate the love and y'all having me on here for sure.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Crazy how you said that came together so quickly, because that's just like, to me, it seemed like it would have been something you've been working on for a long time. So it was really awesome to hear, man.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
It's the greatest of all time.
It is the greatest.
All time.
No. Sorry, we can sense
Greatest
you're
of
really
all
passionate,
time.
man.
I mean, I already have 2 kids. Why not have a third?
Well, Sahi, I want to thank you for coming on the show, and thank you for letting us listen to that awesome song. We hope to have you back with future releases.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate you guys having me on, man. This is a great opportunity for me to showcase my songs. And, you know what I'm saying? Great. It was great meeting all you guys.
Well, the pleasure was all ours, so we appreciate it.
Thank you. Absolutely appreciate having you on, Sahi. Keep going, man.
I got a song called The Only One on YouTube. You can find me at Sahi's Music on YouTube. Subscribe. My Instagram, Sahi_is_right, WRIGHT. So you can just find me there. So.
All right, that was Sahi here on Justo's Best. Stay tuned. Coming up, we got the closing song. Welcome back to Justo's Best. This is the Artist Spotlight. Joined in the studio with singer-songwriter Ryan Dunlap out of Seminole, Florida. What's going on, Ryan?
What's up, y'all?
How you doing, man?
Oh, you know, just living the Rona life.
Yeah, it's got everybody doing things a little differently. Well, Ryan, I'm in here in the studio with probably a couple familiar faces: DJ Tony Ray, Richie Phillips, and Marvin Scott.
How you doing, Ryan?
Woo.
What's happening, Ryan? Great to have you on the show, brother.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, Ryan and I went to high school together, class of 2004.
Oh, man.
You're dating us. Don't do that.
Oh, my bad.
Seems like only yesterday.
Yeah, I'm old. Come on.
For sure.
So Ryan, how long have you been writing music and playing music?
Well, I got a guitar the senior year that Tony was just talking about. So it would have been like 2003 probably, and then I didn't start playing it until like the springish, end of winter, spring. We got one of those terribly long snowstorms where we couldn't leave our house for like 4 days, and I just picked it up finally, like it had been sitting in a corner. So yeah, a long time.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Performing, probably started doing that like 3 or 4 years after I got that, like 2008 maybe.
Awesome.
Awesome, man. Yeah, it's crazy how, being forced to be home, brings out the creativity and gives you nothing else to do. So you're like, all right, well, let's focus on something. And
I mean, I've been thinking about it so much during all of this because that was me with seriously, it was 4 days. We had one of those blizzards where they're like, you just can't really leave. And that was 4 days that I kind of picked it up. I never put it down. What are kids doing right now with 2 months of time?
2 months, yeah. Imagine that.
Building robots and things.
Yeah, Ryan. So I know you've been living the Rona life, man. You kind of cooped up inside. What do you miss the most about performing live for the people, man?
Oh man, aside from having an income,
I feel you, man.
That's valid.
Very valid.
Oh man, just that feedback. Even we're all of us musicians are doing the Facebook Live thing and stuff, and that's cool and that's been great. And it's nice to have some income because of that. But it's not the same. It's not that feeling when you hit something right. You can just hear people go, "Oh, all right, what's going on up there?" And hearing actual applause, not an emoji. I'd say that's what I miss the most. Just that actual feeling of feeling the audience be there.
Yeah, that supportive feedback, man. I know what you mean, man.
Sure.
Ryan, I got a couple questions now. Before I get into anything too serious, what's your favorite emoji when you're doing a live performance?
My favorite emoji? Oh, man. I mean, you can never go wrong with the heart eyes. You're doing something right.
Heart eyes. All right. Serious question, Ryan. Where do you draw your influences when you're writing your songs?
For me, just anything, whatever's kind of happening, whether it be with a girl, whether it be somebody passing away, whether just whatever's going on. I started this kind of because I started writing. My dad passed away when I was 15, and that was kind of a therapeutic thing, was to start writing. And that's kind of how I started picking up music in general. Was someone was like, "You sing pretty good, man, so why don't you play guitar? You're always writing all that shit." So that's kind of what happened.
Nice. So you take real life stories. Got it. So
Yeah,
we're going to be
man.
hearing a Rona story. Do we get a Rona song someday?
Man, we might be able to even do that this day. That could be a thing that we do. I'm working on a new business right now where we write songs for other people. So maybe we can have you guys throw me some stuff and we'll do something like that for my live.
All right. That sounds awesome, Ryan.
So, Ryan, what musicians out there today do you look at? Do you get inspiration from?
Oh, I mean, I'm always going to be a huge Dave Matthews guy. That's I've seen that band 1,000 times and I love them. John Mayer guy. People that are coming out currently new. I'm really, if you haven't checked out Rustin Kelly, he's amazing. His songwriting just blows my mind. He actually just did a covers album of old songs that we loved growing up and stuff, and Taylor Swift song actually too, that he calls dirt emo, which is just acoustic but singing those kind of songs, I guess.
Okay.
Check that
out. I'll definitely check that out. All right, Ryan, here's a wacky question for you. If you had any superhero powers, what would they be and why?
Oh man, I'm just lame, I guess. I just want to fly.
Hey.
Who doesn't want to fly?
all right, so Ryan, we're going to be debuting one of your songs here on Justo's Best. The song is called "Get You Through." Could you tell us a little bit about the track there?
Well, this is actually an older tune for me, but it just seemed like a good one for what's going on in these Rona times, if you will. It's kind of a song about things not always going your way, and the world definitely doesn't really give a damn. You've got to figure it out. It's going to keep going regardless of what's happening to you, so do whatever gets you through.
Absolutely. This is Get You Through by Ryan Dunlap here on the Justo's Best podcast. Don't go anywhere.
resistant outlaw ain't got no wheels to run. Fatherless man and a mama's only son. Joker turned toker, a bully without a gun. Still shoot for the top, but the top don't ever come. The world don't spin for you. Do what you gotta do, whatever gets you through. Whatever gets you through. See more as a boy than most folks ever have. Held the hand of a man, watched him take his final breath. Gambled my life, found out that's something you shouldn't bear. Stared death in the eye, said, I'm not leaving just yet. The world don't spin for you. Do what you gotta do, whatever gets you through. Whatever gets you through. The world don't spin for you. Do what you gotta do, whatever gets you through. Whatever gets you through. Whatever gets you through.
All right, Get You Through by Ryan Dunlap here on the Justo's Best podcast. Ryan, that song is awesome. We had it on the show last week, and I've actually got some friends that were hanging out with me when we were doing some outdoor work, and I was playing the show, and they're like, "Who is that?" That song, it's uplifting. It's very chill. I love that, man.
It's really uplifting, man.
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of one of those songs I could see like playing in one of those movies to like get the movie started, but it's like one of those dramatic drama type movies to kind of get you going, real positive, get you. But yeah, it was really awesome. Fun fact, this is for you, Justo. When we had our radio show back at Wright State, Ryan actually messaged me and I messaged him, and we were actually trying to get him to come on the show then.
That's true.
But it didn't work out.
Oh,
but
wow.
I'm glad we were able to get him on now.
Yeah, all these years later, man.
Absolutely.
Well,
Full circle.
I will say we have greatly expedited our booking process. It no longer takes 9 years to get on the show.
Yeah. We've expedited.
We
that.
apologize for that lapse, Ryan.
Yeah.
It's all good, y'all.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Ryan, you were telling us a little bit about a new endeavor that you've kind of set out on, and you were wanting to kind of debut that a little bit with us on the live performance here.
Yeah, man. It's called Here's a Song for That, and you can check that out on Facebook at Here's a Song for That. And basically the idea is anything that you want me to write you a song about, whether it be a graduation, a wedding, you just want to tell someone you love them. I had somebody that she just missed her sister. She's over in Germany right now. She's in the armed forces and she can't get home because of all this. And she's like, I just want something to let my sister know I miss her. So we wrote a song for that. I had a guy that he's like, I want you to write a pre-apology to my wife for when I'm an idiot and do things that piss her off. So we wrote a song for that.
Nice. I'm gonna need that copy.
And that all stemmed from an idea of my live shows when I'm playing at bars and stuff. We'll do a game where we'll say, hey, throw us out like 5-10 words and I'll put them in a song. So I thought today, if you guys want to all give me a word or a phrase or something about the coronavirus, we'll take all of that and we'll throw it in, or something that's affected you over this last couple months. And we'll do a quick little one on the fly for you.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
We'll try to remember all of the words too. That's always the struggle.
Let's see. I'm going to go with face masks. I guess that's 2 words with a hyphen.
You're the host of the show, man. I think we can allow it.
Oh, okay. Whew. I get a host pass. Marvin, what word do you want to throw in the song?
Hope.
That's a good one.
Go in a different direction with that.
You did. You went a very different direction. I like it.
What about you, Richie?
Nature.
I see DJ Tony Ray's got his thinking face on.
Don't you say toilet paper.
Oh, no.
He's been doing toilet paper every week.
Let's go with furlough.
Furlough. Can we get a number between 0 and 6?
Let's go with 4. There's 4 hosts. We'll go
4.
That makes sense. 4.
I can't find my
capo on the old 4. Well, this furlough's finally lapsed. Gotta give myself a face mask. Unemployment never lasts till the economy back. Well, I got a little hope to get it, and I know I'm never quitting. Everything is fine, I said it's gonna pass. Oh, Corona, coming later, it's a human own in nature. Breaking off and taking a piece of life. I can't believe it coming, I wanna stay strong. That COVID one, I gotta feel too fine. Gonna feel too fine. Heard words about toilet paper, not gonna leave for near for later. And I wanna get up, but the meat's expensive, can't get running. I think I ought to breathe, got a little monk and I wanna lease. And I know what I don't need, a COVID will not come for me. Said, hold me, let it go. I got lost in this first, so I don't know. I think the fever's strong. Thank God you guys are at home. So when we would do your real song, we'd have a little more, I guess, style in there. But that's the idea for you. We got all of your words in there.
No, that was a real song, right?
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was great, man. That was great. Very innovative, dude.
Thanks,
What's
man.
so crazy for me is that it's all on the spot. You know, we gave him those words just a few minutes ago, and that sounds like something that was in the works for a while. But you know, that's
Andy
awesome.
threw in toilet paper.
Put toilet paper in there.
Yeah,
That was a nice touch.
One for me.
Well, Ryan, we definitely appreciate you coming out to Justo's Best. We hope we can have you back. We hope that you can get back out on the stage and get those live reactions and not have to look at the emojis for too much longer.
Right. Thanks, guys.
That was Ryan Dunlap for the Artist Spotlight. You're listening to the Justo's Best podcast. Don't scroll away just yet. We got final thoughts coming up.
This is Ryan Dunlap here. Just wanted to remind you guys to swing by facebook.com/here's a song for that if you're interested in having a song written for you. Also check out Ryan Dunlap Music on Facebook and Instagram. Don't forget to check out Justo's Best podcast, and we'll see you around.
Welcome back to Justo's Best. It is time for the Artist Spotlight. And this week we have comedian Tony Watson out of Findlay, Ohio. Tony, what's going on?
What's going on, man? I'm in a hot car right now, so if I start sweating, it's not because I'm nervous. Just,
It's because it's hot.
heaving.
Yeah, it's hot. Absolutely. Well, guys, this is Tony. Tony, this is Marvin, Richie, and DJ Tony Ray. We are happy to have you on the show, man. So stand-up comedy. How long have you been doing it, man?
September will be 2 years, I believe.
Tony, great to have you on the show, man. What was that first show like? That first open mic?
My first actual set was actually in a basement, which I don't really count as an open mic because it was kind of a setup thing, you know. But my first real open mic was just awful. It was just 5 minutes of just pure tense bombing in front of a room of like 3 or 4 people. It was not good. If that had been my first set ever, I probably wouldn't have started doing it afterwards. You know, I probably would have quit that night, honestly.
Well, you shook it off and you just kept going.
Yeah, but it was only because the very first set I ever did went really well. I did about 15 minutes. I just told a story. And I feel like if that set hadn't gone well, I don't think I ever would have done it again, maybe. But as soon as I started going to like real bar shows and like getting on actual events and stuff, I just realized that bombing's sort of part of the process, you know, and the only way you get better is by bombing. So, man, the first one's always tough, though, you know?
I like that mindset. Now, earlier, before the show, you said you weren't a big sports guy. So I have one more question for you.
Okay.
We had a little fun with this. In a celebrity fight for charity, which comedian would you choose to fight Mike Tyson?
Mike Tyson, okay. Oh, man.
Who are you sending to the wolves?
Man, last week I had to dodge getting a bit by him.
A lot of Mike Tyson going on.
I would say Larry the Cable Guy for some reason. It seems like a perfect matchup.
That's like a great matchup.
Yeah. I just want to see him get her done, you know? I don't really...
Yeah, why not?
I like that.
Get her done.
All right, Tony, we're kindred spirits. I used to do stand-up for years in my early 20s, actually. So I'm going to have a couple questions for you. It's not going to be
okay, cool.
So one of the things I'd like to tell the audience, just as you mentioned, is I think a lot of people get this idea of stand-up is just, oh, I could do that. I could get up there and be funny. And then what you just said, like your first one, it's like if you don't actually understand how it works and you just get up there and think you're just going to tell jokes, it's an awful experience, like you kind of just mentioned. I'm not saying you specifically did that, but there's a lot of people that I watched do that. Right. So it's just like you get drunk and you're like, man, this doesn't look hard. And you start doing it and you fail miserably. So, and as you mentioned, you start bombing. And honestly, what you said has resonated with me because like my failures were what essentially got me to improve. But I also recognize like that's part of it. You're not going to ever entertain the whole room. There's always going to be that one guy that's looking at you like, bro, that's not funny.
Right.
And you just have to deal with it, right? Like realistically, if you can make one person laugh, like you've done your job. That's the whole point. Okay.
Well, I was just kind of thinking if there's that one person in the room that's kind of just not digging it, I'm just like, well, all these other people like it, so that's good enough for me, you know?
Yeah, no,
maybe
sure.
that one guy is just not for me. Maybe I don't want that guy there, you know?
Yeah, no, and that's what I mean. Well, and that's the thing with humor, right? You never know everyone has their own tastes. So you never want to focus one way or another. Even if you got the whole room laughing, that doesn't mean your set is as good as it could have been, right? Your timing could have been better, etc. So, go ahead.
If you don't like a joke I make or something, you know, if something bugs you that I say on stage, it doesn't bother me if you don't want to be a fan of mine, really. You know what I mean? I don't really want those people to Because I mean, I'm not gonna stop writing jokes the way I write jokes, and doing stand up the way I do stand up. It's always gonna basically be the same, But there's no malice behind anything, so it's all just a joke. So if you're getting mad at it, then you just don't get humor, I don't think.
Sure. So my first question, piggybacking off of what you just said, is your style, your humor, and who are some of the comedians that have influenced you? Just try to name a couple.
One of my favorites for sure is Louis C.K. Still, I really appreciate the way he writes his sets. He always, whenever he comes up with like a closer for his hour, he'll open his next set with that same joke, and he hopes that in the end he's able to have, a full set of just closers. And I feel like that's a really smart way of piecing a set together. And I feel like that's also what makes him such a good, joke writer at the end of the day. I just try to base my style off of that. And there's another guy named Tony Hinchcliffe. He's an LA guy, and he started comedy around the same age that I did, but he started from like the very bottom. He was working at a comedy club, and now he like runs one of the most successful like live podcasts out there right now. So it's just cool to see someone really work their way to the top of the industry like that. And I want to eventually, be up there with that guy at some point.
Okay. No, appreciate that, man. So to clarify to our audience and to Marvin, those birds are with Tony. They are not New York City birds. They are not New York City birds. Those are Tony's birds.
Birds in New York City don't make sounds like that.
That's right.
I'm telling you right now, that sounds like the same birds.
They were going ham in there. Okay. So Tony, I got one last question for you.
About them.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So what I want you to do for the audience, as we just discussed, hey, it looks easy, yada, yada, yada. What's the advice you would give someone who wants to start doing open mics, stand-up comedy, etc., that you've learned through your struggles? What should they do to prepare, and what's their mentality? What should they be thinking about?
I definitely think that a lot of people struggle with trying to like pinpoint where people should laugh at certain things. I feel like everybody, they go up there with something that they presume to be funny, but they don't have like an idea of where the laugh should show up. I feel like if you're gonna write a set for the first time, you should at least mark that in to where you know what I mean? Like, have an idea of where you're trying to get people to laugh, so that way you can build up to that moment. I just feel like a lot of people go up there and ramble and try to get something funny out of it. It usually comes off as just lots of premises, but not too many, jokes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it.
All right, Tony Tone. So I got some wacky questions for you. So
Okay.
Be prepared. Are you ready?
I'm a wacky dude. So
okay. I like it. So if peanut butter wasn't called peanut butter, what would it be called?
Oh, God.
Huh. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know why it's called peanut butter, to be completely honest. But I feel like it has to be something that goes well with jelly.
Okay. All right. So here's another good one for you. What movie would greatly improve? What movie would greatly improve if we turned it into a musical?
Oh man. Step Brothers?
Nice.
Enjoy that. I would enjoy that.
I would pay to see that.
Yeah,
I would. If you could have any superhero powers, what would they be and why?
Possibly invisibility, just because I feel like it's a very underrated superpower. Not a lot of people. I feel like you could get away with a lot of sly, like, crimes. Maybe I would be a supervillain if I had a superpower.
Man, you are a bank robber number 3 on our show.
Yeah, I want to say.
I think if my power was invisibility, I would for sure be a villain. But if it was like super strength or like speed or something, I'd probably be a hero. But I don't know why you would be a hero if you could like disappear though. I feel like you should only be a villain if that's your power, right? Because like, I mean, what's the point of being a superhero if nobody can see you?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. I totally understand.
Well, you said underrated. You said underrated, but you're actually the third artist that we've had on that said they would prefer to be invisible.
Well, that's because everybody's got like depression nowadays.
Last question for you, Tony. If life was a video game, what cheat codes would be implemented?
Like what cheat codes would I use specifically?
Yes.
I'm trying to think of all the Grand Theft Auto cheat codes I can remember because those are all the fun ones.
Like for The Sims, it's like Rosebud. For money, for other things, you've got cheat codes so your car can go faster. Or
first things first, spawn a helicopter.
Yeah, I think spawning vehicles would definitely be a fun one because like then if you're like if you're ever in like a predicament where you need a ride, like you could
after you stole from
you don't have to worry about right. You could be your own getaway driver, you know? You just gotta have that cheat code ready. Imagine robbing a bank and then having to call an Uber. That would really up your plans.
That would be funny though.
Right. I guess it would be hard to catch like if you're a getaway driver and you don't know you're a getaway driver, then no one's gonna suspect that it's you that just robbed the bank, you know?
Correct.
Like if you're just doing normal Uber driving stuff, then why would you get like chased? I don't know.
No, I like it. I like the setup. That's all I got for you.
There's a black market job opportunity for somebody, an Uber driver that specializes in robberies.
That's called the transporter.
Oh yeah. Never mind.
They made some movies about that.
I'm with you. Well, Tony, I'm glad to have you on the show, man. We've been friends for quite a while here, and I've kind of seen you go. You take this comedy thing and run with it. You were a professional wrestler. I don't know if you're still admitting that to the public, but
yeah. I mean, I have a past. They can find it on YouTube.
You were really good, and you know the thing that's always been an admiring point for me about you is your hard work and your dedication. When you were a wrestler, I drove you on one of the trips, but you used to travel all over the country to take seminars with people, and you worked like I think 5 or 6 days a week on top of working 5 or 6 days a week on a full-time job, and you've always been very dedicated. You traveled all the time for wrestling to do the seminars, and
I traveled to Kalamazoo, Michigan one time.
Yeah, that was an accident. I was with you on that one. Man, I don't know if you guys have ever fallen asleep in the car and waken up somewhere that you're not supposed to, but, you know, Detroit to Toledo, I don't know if you know Ohio very well, but it's really just a straight shot down 75 once you get to 75. So that's what I was exhausted. I was riding with Tony back from a Comic-Con, and I was like, hey, you know, just take 75 south, wake me up when we get there. You should pass Toledo and everything first. I woke up the approximate time of that the trip should take later, and we were in Kalamazoo, Michigan, which was roughly the same length of the trip west instead of south.
It is a very weird situation. Same exact address. I don't get it, man.
So, but you know
how hard it is to like how unsettling it is to like be happy that you're finally out of Michigan, only to realize that you're still in Michigan. It's like a Groundhog Day type of thing.
But I mean, yeah, that was one of the trips, and we traveled around, and you worked so hard with that, and then you know you transferred that over to comedy, man. I see your booking schedule, and I see how frequently you're doing this, and it's really awesome.
Thank you,
Richie.
I have a question, please.
All right,
Like, this whole interview would have been different if I knew he was a professional or a former professional wrestler.
I still do it every now and then. You know? I just don't look like I do, so that's why I don't promote it.
Folks, I love wrestling first and foremost. I'm not laughing about that. It's something not worth talking about why I'm laughing. But Tony, gotta know. Professional wrestler, what was your finishing move? I have to know.
Oh,
what
it's
did you do?
It's actually a move that I invented. It's a I call it a trick shot. It's just I'm standing behind the guy. I grab his left arm like around his waist, and then I spin him around, and I basically just give him like a Trouble in Paradise, just a spinning kick to the head. You can find it on YouTube. It's pretty brutal, but I'm proud of it because it's something original that I've only ever seen one other person do, and it wasn't as well as mine is. So I like to think that I lay claim to that move, but who knows?
I would love to see that because that sounds like a very smooth move for a bigger guy. And I'm sure that's impressive. That's insane.
If you type in Mickey Mavis, the finale, it should show up on YouTube. It's just a short little clip.
So now you're doing comedy, and we have a little bit of a clip here from your newest album. Will you tell us a little bit about the album?
This is an album. Like I said, I started off doing comedy in a basement. So the guy that ran those shows wanted to just put like a small group of people together during quarantine so we could still do comedy. And that's basically what the album is. It's a 2-part album. That's the first half of the album is 2 sets combined, and then the second half of the album is 3 sets combined. And it's this quarantine album, you know. It's not gonna be like HBO special level of quality, but one of the things I'm most proud of with that is since it's a quarantine album, I haven't been able to really work on a lot of material. So a lot of those jokes that are on those 2 albums were the first time I ever did them. So it's a pretty sweet little hidden gem that I just released to everybody. It's available on YouTube for free, but it's in 2 parts. I would watch if you're only gonna watch one, I would prefer you watch the second part because I feel like it's much better. But if you watch the first one, just don't say I didn't warn you, you know?
All right, so we have a clip here from the album Filthy Idiot by Tony Watson. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Justo's Best podcast.
Hey guys, this is Tony Watson. You are about to hear a clip from my brand new quarantine comedy album, Filthy Idiot.
I believe that I'm a much better driver when I know that there are drugs in my trunk. And that kind of got me thinking, imagine how great I'd be if instead of drugs, I had a body in there. I'd be really good. Just like Paul Walker in all those movies, you know? You know, second thought, that's probably not the best example. His car had 2 dead bodies in it. You know, some people might say that joke's too soon, but I think it's too fast, too furious. Can't argue with that.
Oh my
boy.
goodness gracious.
My wife's not gonna like that joke. She's a Paul Walker fan.
But that's comedy though, man, Tony. It's being able to just go there.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Well, I think that, you know, Marvin, that's absolutely the sentiment. I think that's the coolest thing about comedy. These dark things happen. We can either choose to sit around and feel like crap about them, or we have people like Tony and people like Richie and other comedians out there that can bring some positivity to it and some laughter to it. Even if it is a little, you know, harsh and
I'll be honest with you guys that joke is not actually on the album. That's just a clip that I was able to put together. But there is another Paul Walker joke on the album that
Oh boy!
Give you guys a heads up on that one.
All right. So if you're into the first joke, you'll love the second one.
I don't think so. I think the second one's a little bit worse. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, Tony, I appreciate having you on the show, man. I hope we can have you back as things progress and kind of check in on you, see where things are going. Make sure everybody, you go and check out Tony's stuff online at YouTube, and he'll post here a little bit on the show where you can find him and where to check out his stuff.
Right.
Tony, will you come back and see us?
Oh, for sure. This is a lot of fun. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Tony, love having you on the show, man.
Yeah, Tony, thank you.
Thanks, man. All right, folks, don't go anywhere. We have closing thoughts coming up. Justo's Best podcast.
Hey, guys, this is comedian Tony Watson here. You can find me online on Twitter and Instagram at twat_comedy. You can also find me on YouTube. My wrestling YouTube is Tricky Mickey Mavis. And then my comedy YouTube is Tony Watson Comedy. You can also hear me on my new podcast that started yesterday, the Curious Cats podcast. We're going to do an episode each week, so keep an eye out for that.
Hey guys, Justo here. Thank you again for listening to our Artist Spotlight highlight reel. And please tune in this Wednesday when the Justo's Best podcast discuss the racial injustice and the systemic racism in the United States of America this Wednesday. Extremely important. I cannot express to you enough. Please tune in this Wednesday at 10 a.m. to the Justo's Best podcast. Live, laugh, love like it's your last. Have a great week. This has been a Justo's Best production.